Hey everybody, I'm out of camp again. I've set up another primitive trap I wanted to go over with you. I've got my twitch pole here. I've already got a trigger stick set on it. A couple more pieces nailed into the ground here. I want to go over this with you. It's a nice, easy trap. We've used the pieces that we used on our other video of our first trap. Well, the one piece anyway. And again, we're going to act like this is a trail here. I'm just doing this on camp. Traps like this are actually illegal in my state, so I'm just making this to show you for a survival situation. Let me get this set up. Okay. So what I want you to notice here is both of these, I've got notches cut into both of these stakes here. Notch in this one, a notch in this one. Now my trigger stick that comes down is going to rest in those notches. So my twitch pole actually sits to this side of these stakes a touch. So I'm putting my notches on the opposite side. So let me get those reset. And so we're going to bring this down, and this trigger stick is going to sit right inside the notches on these stakes. And I like to turn it until I find a good sweet spot, somewhere it'll rest good. And you got to be careful. This'll shoot up and smack you in the face. Okay, so we've got our paracord, 6 foot of paracord, just tied onto our twitch pole. It's just a sapling. I've tied a loop in the end, so I can then, see I've got a loop, so I can then run my line back through my loop. And I've got essentially a noose here, a slip knot. So you can take a couple pieces of stick like you see here, just barely stick them into the ground. You want something that's just gonna hold your loop up, make your loop hold shape. So I'll find just a couple little sticks. It doesn't matter a whole lot. And what you want, if you're going to trap a rabbit or a squirrel or something small like that, you ideally want the base of your loop. A good rule of thumb is 3 or 4 fingers from ground level. So right here I'm sitting right at about 4 fingers from ground level. So now this is set. Okay, again, we're pretending this is on a game trail. What I would do here, the game trail, you know, just right down the middle, I want to fence off either side of my loop. Just put sticks in the way to make it less convenient. I want them to want to walk right through the middle. So sometimes I'll take little sticks like this and just stick them right there like that, just to make it the most convenient for them to walk right through that loop. So now this is set. You can walk away from this. It's a fairly solid trap. Let me grab a branch and I'll show you what it looks like when it sets off. Okay, when this sets off, 9 times out of 10 in my experience, the first thing that's going to happen, the animal walks through, and as they're walking through, they're going to catch, and this noose is going to tighten on them. When they get to a certain point with most of these primitive traps where they set the trigger stick off, that's when your twitch pole twitches up and breaks her neck or strangles them. So as the animal's walking through, it gets its head through, and then its chest starts to catch this. And as it goes, you see I'm off my sticks now. Now I'm starting to tighten up. So we'll come to the other side. The animal's walking through here now, and as it tightens up to a certain point, it pulls that off of those notches and it slings up. You can see it tightened around the animal. It got to that certain point and it pulled it off the notches of my stakes. Now this string is a little long. Ideally what I've set a lot of mine for is bigger game like possums and coons. I don't do a whole lot of rabbit trapping, but the shorter your string here, the less pull they're going to have to be. This right here is a lot of pull, but for our purposes it works fine. So again, the animal comes through, tightens up as it's walking, and then it's hung. It's dead. You've got a trap. This particular trap here, you can do it under 10 minutes with a piece of rope and a knife, and it's easily resettable. You put your trigger stick back down in your notches, find that little sweet spot where it likes to sit, and then you go about resetting your loop. Something I always say about these, and something to be careful with, is these primitive traps, they're not modern day traps, you know. They are primitive. They will set themselves off. If my trigger stick comes out this side, I like being on that side when I'm setting it up. You don't want to be leaning over here doing your loop and that trigger stick comes off and smacks you in the face, trust me, it is not fun. So I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you watching. If you've got any questions or any advice, let me know, and I'll see you on the next video.